folks, it's Chris again here for another design video. This time I want to focus on how designers around the globe are doing their part to help tackle COVID-19. As of the time of recording this video, there are currently over 4 million confirmed cases of COVID-19, of which 283,200 people have sadly passed away. There does appear to be light at the end of the tunnel, however. The virus appears to be showing a decline in spread. There's a good chance you're at home because you've been advised by your government to help slow the spread of the virus. In my own country, the message has very much been stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. Messaging has been used on flyers, billboards, TV advertising, and shared countless times on Twitter. It's prompting people to consider their habits and form new ones if necessary. Open, obvious, engaging communication is a critical factor during a pandemic. Communication is design. Chip and Dan Heath, from their book Made to Stick, suggest the more we reduce the amount of information in an idea, the stickier it will be. As part of the effort to communicate critical messaging to the public on a global basis, the United Nations asked designers to get creative and deliver visual messaging that would encourage uptake of 6 very important points. Engage the general public and inform them of observing good hygiene standards. It's important that these hygiene standards continue throughout the year as well, even as the virus ebbs, as complacency could lead to a second wave. Social distancing. Some countries may find social distancing more difficult than others. In Japan, for instance, there have been reports of Japanese offices struggling to adapt to social distancing. Many companies still insisting on a physical office presence. It's important when designing communication that cultural differences are taken into consideration. Symptoms should be communicated in such a way that they're easy to comprehend. Design the message appropriately. Consider literacy rates and the ages of the intended audience. What contagion is? Contagion is effectively how the virus spreads. COVID-19 is a respiratory disease, carried in expelled droplets of saliva from a sneeze or cough. It spreads directly between people when those droplets reach the eyes, nose, or mouth of an uninfected person. Myth-busting. Misinformation, unfortunately, is rife at the moment. From folks suggesting that it's a bioengineered weapon to theories that the 5G spectrum is somehow transmitting the disease, which, coincidentally, led to the destruction of a number of 5G masts in the UK. In the age of social media, stopping the spread of misinformation is hugely difficult. And finally, how to donate to COVID-19 related charities. Link in the description below if you would like to donate. The UN wanted to produce advice for the general public that's translatable and understandable, regardless of your demographic background. They were completely inundated with quality submissions from all over the world. There have been hundreds of responses, and the project's success has spawned a website with downloadable posters and activities for children. I'm reminded at times like this of a famous quote from the late American graphic designer Saul Bass: "Design is thinking made visual." Studio Leonard and De Bruin was conceived in 2015 in a bid to produce big, bold and beautiful things from their ultra multidisciplinary studio in the Netherlands. Leonard and De Bruin launched the Stay Sane, Stay Safe campaign, much like the UN call to action, but an in-house creative effort to produce colourful and bold posters to raise awareness and morale in uncertain times.
My hands are fine. My hands are normal.
A website was created which hosted over 1,500 free downloadable posters. Link in the description. A successful studio that creates visual identities, campaigns, branding, websites, art direction. The list goes on. Sprightly, chipper, humorous, suitable adjectives that sum up Studio Leonard and De Bruin. And this is reflected in their colourful output on what is a subject of fear and doubt for many people. Games shouldn't only be fun, they should teach or spark an interest in other things. Hideo Kojima, how do you communicate to children on what a virus is and why it's dangerous, why we need to be socially distant? Enter the phenomenon that is Minecraft, which is still hugely popular even 11 years after its initial release. In fact, an article by Business Insider suggested that 112 million people are still playing the game on a monthly basis across all platforms. Known as the BLOCKDOWN simulator, your goal is to help visitors who have been infected and to return them to society as quickly as possible after recovery from infection. You can play either a nurse or an observer and choose from 3 different scenarios: lockdown, free for all, and quarantine. This gives the player the opportunity to see how different methods of prevention impact infection and recovery rates. Social distancing is a hard concept to grasp when you're a 7-year-old, but with Minecraft, parents now have a platform that can open up discussion that's easier and more fun to understand. I hope you enjoyed this video on how design can still be a part of your life even during a pandemic. Please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video if you did indeed like it. If you did dislike it for whatever reason, feel free to shoot me a message to let me know why. Your feedback is so crucial to me and the content I create now and in the future. Wherever you are in the world, stay sane, stay safe.
My hands are fine. My hands are normal. Slightly large, actually. In fact, I buy a slightly smaller than large glove.